something arty. I'm going to be designing a new logo for the volunteer radio show that I do. It is coming up for its 5th year anniversary in March, so I decided I was going to do a little kind of more old school design for our 5th anniversary since it's like a nice wee kind of good year. So bringing back kind of wee like a wee throwback to the very first designs that I made for it, and but also incorporating different like ideas and like how I've kind of developed over the last few years with like skills or just design kind of aspects in general. So the idea for this year was I was gonna get a guitar and bring in some rock sounds because well you kind of have the devil's horns without rock music. So because in the very first designs I had done a guitar and a microphone, so I was like, well, I wanted to kind of bring back the guitar and like improve on it, but then decided very early on that I was just gonna go with the two devil horns and then it would be like that. So here are the two designs that I made for the very first year, and as you can see, basically they're very basic, very open, but all about that typography. And it's something that I've always been kind of interested in. I always kind of appreciated like the work that went into typography, especially the ones that like look like things. If that makes sense. So I always kind of had an interest in that because well, making those first designs. I remember it took me maybe like 4 hours to make them, even though they look so basic. And that was like obviously all the text is very straight, just very straight lined because there was like no curvature. It was literally I'm trying to make these shapes out of text, like that was that was fun, and just a whole load of resizing. But obviously it's just very blocky, so it was like trying to make all of that work. And then I remember in the guitar one there were so many layers because every text file was a layer. So yeah. So here as you can see, I've separated out wee areas that I want to try and put text in, and now I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going to start placing words. So I've got the main show, obviously, Rockbox, and I just placed them up there for the moment. I had initially thought, oh, I'll just keep them there, but then later on decided, no, I need to actually get them put into the actual design, because then once like I had all the text put in, it would look a wee bit weird and like throw off the whole kind of shape. So I decided that Kiki and I, because it's Kiki and AJ, that our names will be on the wrists, and still bold enough so you can see like that. This sounds really pompous, but we're kind of an important aspect of it because obviously we are the presenters. But it's always been part of our designs. It's always Rockbox with Kiki and AJ, and because that was also what our jingles used to be as well. Well, I say used to be because we had a little bit of issues over last summer where our jingles went missing, so we have to make up new jingles. But anywho, this is all about our new designs, so let's not dwell on the past of oh no, we've not got our cool wee things. So yeah, so I'm on the right side, Kiki's on the left side, and we are Kiki and AJ. So you may have also noticed that there is no and currently. Yeah, I decided not to put an and in. I put the wee actually draw it. The only drawn aspect of this design comes later on where I just put in a wee and you see me write it I think about 5 times because I'm not happy with how it looks. Oh, so this is so currently what's happening is I'm trying to fit in only on Listen Lanarkshire because that's the name of our radio station. It's Listen Lanarkshire, but I decided, well, realised very early on that trying to fit that in was not going to work because then it would mess up like the whole kind of feel of it and how I'm going to actually try and have to fit it all in. So that was where the decision came in like, oh wait, Rockbox should actually be a big part of like the hand design as well. So they ended up being in the palms. Now, I'm using a function on Photoshop called like monkey warp. So when you can see you can place like wee dots and like you can like warp it around and like twist it and bob. Well, I was about to say twist it and bop it. Yes. So because I've not used it in a very long time, you can see I've ended up with these kind of jagged edges, like because of how I've been pulling it and whatnot. And initially it did annoy me, but then upon like reflection, whilst I'm like looking at all the other kind of text and once everything kind of builds up, I actually quite liked it. It may not fit perfectly, it may not look, it's not going to be super clean in comparison to like the rest of the text that's appearing. Obviously AJ and Kiki, like Kiki's, like I'm so happy with how Kiki turned out. Like it just looks so flawless. AJ took a little bit of work, as you saw, because of the monkey warp. It went all over the place. Like the wee bottom part of the jai went woohoo. But yeah, so that's that. So this is me deciding now that for the rest of the like the fingers, uh, I was gonna put in like the genres of like the music that we kind of cover. Like initially on the older designs for the first the first 2 years, because the second design slightly different but still had the same kind of feel. I all the text was made up of bands, so all the different kind of bands that we play and whatnot. And then it was the third year that I changed it. I brought back the guitar, kind of edited it out a wee bit, but I added in like a oh Jesus a speaker. I couldn't remember what that word was. Like a speaker. So I made up the speaker with all the different kind of genres, and so basically I took that kind of aspect of that design, so because I felt like it made a bit more sense rather than having, because I've got like 10 spaces to fill up, and I was like, well, I don't want to put in just 10 bands because we play way too many bands. No, that's a joke. It was more also kind of deciding like we didn't want to look kind of, I say we, this is me, I'm sorry. I didn't want to look very biased, because like there's bands that Kiki really enjoys that I'm not too fond of, and vice versa. Like we have our own different tastes, and but it's still, we work very well that way. Like Kiki's maybe more like she'll bring more of the heavier stuff. I bring the more kind of lighter stuff, but also bring like the really weird, obscure like bands, because I just go looking and it's like, oh, here's a band, boop, let's play them. But then we also like I didn't also just want to put like the kind of like our very popular bands. Like so if I'd done like our like the bands we play probably every single week, like it would be like Green Day, Fall Out Boy, Hailstorm, especially Hailstorm, like My Chemical Romance, like that kind of thing, like Papa Roach, like Metallica, but didn't want to look not like it was kind of like a biased kind of thing. So I felt like the genres worked better, because it was like, oh, here's the kind of things you could expect from us. Like we play prog, we play pop rock, we play like metal, heavy metal, oh, like punk. Like it kind of, it feels more like this is what you expect when you like tune in for a rock box. Like here's an installment of rock box. Here's all this kind of things you can expect to hear. So we're very like a very open show. So hence why Rockbox. I remember when we decided I was actually sitting in Kiki's house and just like, right, we need to come up with a name. This was maybe about 3 weeks in. We started doing the show. We didn't have a name. We were just doing the show. And so it's like, right, should we have like rock in it and whatnot? And it's like, right, okay, we're figuring out names. And then I thought like, well, instead of like a music box, because it's just rock music, how about Rockbox? And that was it. It's just Rockbox was born, and then we had lunch. Oh, it's so weird that that was almost 5 years ago. But yes, that's how Rockbox was born. And then I think it must have been like a year or so later. Was just like flicking through the channels, and then I think it's MTV or something like that. They have a section called Rockbox. I was like, oh, they've stole our name. Although obviously, like, we're just from like a wee kind of community radio station. Like, they've no way like looked this up. Be like, right, clearly nobody's gonna take this name. Probably seen if anyone like patented it, but like, obviously we didn't. So, aye, so that's the creation of Rockbox. How the name came about and whatnot. So yeah, so this is me just like trying to fit in I think heavy metal is I think one of the few ones that actually like sits really nicely. I think if I remember correctly, or just like how it kind of just all came together. It was just like so quick, boom, boom, Bob's your uncle, done. So like I'm constantly like flicking on and off like all the text because I don't want it like distracting me. And also, it's blue. The text is blue, mostly just to kind of separate it from the fact that it's not Rockbox or Kiki and AJ. But I also quite like the idea of having like integrating the colours into it. So I went with the blue because I thought the blue looked quite nice, and also, oh sorry, given that we're in Scotland, we're a Scottish show. I was like, right, we're going over the let's go more for the blue. Even though I personally have like I love the reds. I don't know why, like I love the red and white design, but I do have a wee soft spot for the blue. The blue's just nice and calming, whereas I feel like the red's just like red. It gets that kind of more, I don't know, hard feeling. Because obviously red has its kind of like weird, like I say weird connotations. There's obviously it has the connotations of anger, so it's like that kind of build up, and they say, "Oh, rock music's angry music." It just kind of gets that kind of feel across. But yeah, if I might do another redesign like later on in the year. We'll see, and then I'll do like a red version, or next year's version can be a wee red version. We'll see. We'll see what the future brings. So, yay! Now, some of these gave me a lot of issues because, especially because I didn't end up placing them some of them really well. Like you probably would have seen like with what I can't remember what one it was. Was it folklore or something like that? I think it was folk rock or something like that. But because of how the letters are, like how I'm trying to place them on the fingers, obviously I want that kind of curve to obviously look like it's like a finger and whatnot. But some of the words, how they end or how they start, don't really open themselves up for that kind of alterations. So it made it like kind of difficult to try and get that kind of curve and everything like that in to kind of help with like the imagery and whatnot. So now this is me like taking all of the lines away, seeing how it looks overall, and then at this point I'm thinking, am I actually done here? Or I was like, no, I can do something better than this. Obviously at this point I'd realised that some of them were a wee bit overlapping, and I'm like, right, I need to fix this. So I'm also trying to figure out how I'm going to do this background. So I wanted a kind of glow, like a light glow, so you feel like you know how you're at a gig and you have like those spotlights that go into the crowds and also like onto the actual stage. So I wanted to kind of get that feel of you were at a rock gig and you've got your devil horns up for whatever band that you love to see, and I decided to go with a nice warm glow because generally lights kind of have like this either they're either like pure white or they've got that kind of yellowy kind of orangey tinge. So this was how I got the red kind of color integrated. So I went for red and then like kind of build it up so it was a nice wee warm feel to it. Now, what I'm trying to do now is I'm gonna like add a gradient to all of the fingers, like all the genres, mostly to try and help break them apart, being so close, so you can still tell what things say, but also to try and give that more kind of give that depth of like this is like a, like shading. That's the word I was looking for. Shading. Give it a more kind of 3D feel. Da, da, blah. Technical words by AJ. So yeah, so this was fun because I'm having to like highlight every single letter, and then I'm trying to figure out like which way do the colors go. Also, at this point um that you couldn't see, I was trying to figure out the colors, and I'd already had this one pre-made, like a pre-made gradient, so the blue going into the white. But I was trying to edit it so it was like a dark blue into the baby blue that the text currently is. But it wasn't working for me, and at this point I was like, no, it's going well. I want this to go well. I'm just gonna go for it. And then when I thought about it, I was like, well, it actually works out quite nicely because right, Rockbox and Kiki and AJ are white, so it still fits in. Like it connects it all better instead of having the fingers a completely different color from like the palms and the wrists. So though it was an issue that I was annoyed at for 2 minutes, that I couldn't get what I wanted at the time to work. In retrospect, it worked out even better than what I could have imagined because it actually made it fit cohersely. Cohersely. Wow. AJ, you're talking so well today. Cohersely. So at this point, it's just trying to highlight all the words and then fixing like the ones that are kind of awkward. So like you can see that folk rock. Oh my god, I am not doing well at all. Folk rock is like really going into both indie and into heavy metal, and then I'm trying to alterate it by like moving indie about, trying to tweak it so that I've got a wee bit of space to work with that way, but still trying to keep it, like coherce. So if I move indie to like a decent degree, and Screamo fits like nobody's business. So that's when I'm trying to figure out like make it smaller, tweak it around, twirl it. Basically, we're back to the bop it, twist it. So twist it and all that. So that's the majority of it done. And then I was thinking, right, am I gonna go for this? And then I was like, nah, I'm gonna adapt even more. So I was like, I'm gonna put a little border around it. And from going back to like the third design that I made, where it had like all the genres and whatnot, I had made up a kind of wee border of it. It was like a wee rough edge border of it, kind of like nothing like too harsh or anything like that. Just kind of like scattered, kind of like spray paint kind of feel. That's the best way I can describe it. But yeah, that's us done. Whoop. So that's a new wee image for Rockbox, and that means it's good work for me. It actually meant I did something. So yeah, so I'm AJ. I did something today, and I will see you later. Bye bye.